fly-ins?
Well, the president of AOPA, the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, he decided that they were going to change the structure of how they engage with their membership.
Oh.
And so they went from a couple of just large conferences, with one of them being based in Frederickson, Maryland, where their headquarters are, to a structure where they could get out to where their members actually live, fly, play.
What an idea.
Yeah. So they started in 2014, and that first year, I believe they did 7, and they had about 16,000 pilots, aviation enthusiasts, and stuff attend those. And this is not their first time at it, but they've scaled back. They're doing 4 in 2016.
So how does that work? They have a bunch of folks converging at almost the same time, right?
Yeah, you're right. It'll be exciting. The event is technically the 17th of September, 2016, but on the 16th, you'll begin to see a large amount of smaller GA aircraft arriving at the WK Kellogg Airport. We anticipate approximately 500 aircraft.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Now, that's all assuming and hoping that we have a beautiful, high-pressure Michigan day.
But we can put our order in now, I guess.
Yeah, we've already done that.
Yeah.
But probably about half of those, the better half, would show up Friday afternoon, Friday evening, with the balance showing up Saturday morning.
So it's going to be like O'Hare over there. You're going to have all kinds of traffic.
Well, it will be busy, but that, oddly enough, is not strange for us. The WK Kellogg Airport is typically in the top 5 busiest airports in the state of Michigan.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. So,
oh, my gosh.
We've had some of the national intercollegiate flight competitions where we've had similar numbers. This would probably be the largest number, but we're very well suited for this type of event and handling that level of operations.
And we're going to talk more about that after a break on WBCK 8:13 on Thursday. .8:15 WBCK, Richard Piet Show, Thursday. Larry Bowron's here from the WK Kellogg Airport. So this big fly-in, 500 aircraft. Fortunately, you have the expanse to, park all these things.
That's right, Richard. We're about 1,260 acres, which for a general aviation airport is rather large. And so we have lots of paved surfaces where we can put airplanes. We have lots of grass areas. It's not uncommon at all at this type of an event for folks just to park in the grass. We actually are going to have a camping area where pilots will fly in, and they'll pitch a tent right next to their airplane and spend the night right there on the airport.
Wow, what a neat idea, and to have that kind of space. I mean, airports are large anyway, but to be able to have this kind of an event that accommodates that's great.
That's right. I believe there were some other Michigan airports that had submitted responses to AOPA's RFP. But out of those 30-some-odd RFPs nationally, we were one of 4. So we have, obviously in their minds, we have what it takes.
Right. And what does it take? I mean, what are they looking for?
Well, they were looking for, they made 2 visits. We actually sat down with folks and we gave them tours, and they were looking for a community that would really embrace this type of event. They're looking for a community that has the infrastructure, which we obviously have hands down, but I think it was even more important to them that the community embraced the same idea that they have, in that they're trying to cultivate general aviation. They're going to have 3 seminars going on simultaneously, and some of them would be very basic. So you want to fly? I can't think of many people that at one point in their life haven't said, it'd be kind of cool to fly.
Yeah.
So from basics to that, all the way through more advanced seminars for pilots and stuff. And so when they looked at us, when they looked at what our community has done with the Battle Creek Field of Flight, we just celebrated 35 years of that event.
Right.
When you look at a one-day event like this, the AOPA Fly-In, after doing all of those air shows, it kind of feels like you could do the event with, one of your arms tied behind your back almost. We're like, we can do that. And they're like, what about this? Oh, we can do that. Oh, we can do that. So really what our community had to offer. And then they were also interested in, what type of venues are there? So we explained the air zoo and our golf courses and our new downtown,
Right.
and included lots of pretty pictures and stuff, and they were just blown away.
Well, you can see the appeal then, and when you have that sort of experience and that confidence about it, people take on that confidence.
That's right. That transmits, and,
Yeah.
and I think they knew right off the bat that they were pretty interested in Battle Creek.
So how long will this last? They'll fly in on the 16th. The event starts then on the next day. How long are they here?
Well, it's designed to be a 24-hour event. So
Okay.
that Friday evening they'll have a kickoff event. I think they call it a barnstormer party.
Yep.
And that kicks the event off, and then Saturday is the main stretch of the event, and by I believe around 4:30, most of those airplanes will be lining up to punch out and go home.
Okay. So you don't have to spend days and days accommodating. It's a fast sort of thing.
Right. And this is a recipe that they found is very successful in terms of attracting vendors and stuff, because vendors don't have a lot of time to commit. So this one-day condensed event has really been a successful model for them. And
when we say vendors, these are people with products or services that appeal to pilots.
Right, that's correct. And they'll have probably about 150 by 100 exhibitor tent right next to the main stage area. The focal point on the airport will be just north of Duncan Aviation at Centennial Aircraft and Waco Classic. And there'll be a main stage in the main hangar. There's going to be a lot of exciting stuff packed into this small amount of time. And the exciting thing is the public's invited. The public's more than welcome to come out.
Nicely done. So this is like a festival.
It is,
Flying festival, it seems. Is this something that they'd want to repeat year by year by year?
Well, again, they started in 2014.
Yeah.
So this is their second year. This is their second year. We'll be there in their third year. And right now it's just been a single stop, and that's it. But we'll see how things go. I mean, I would really like to think that, assuming we have good weather, we're going to be able to put on one of their best, most well-attended events.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that everybody that attends is going to have a great time enjoying everything that they have planned and what we have to offer. So if it should turn into something like that, you can rest assured that we'll be pursuing that.
No kidding, right. 8:20, we're talking with Larry Bowron of the WK Kellogg Airport. You heard him say a minute ago, we're one of the busiest airports in the state. We'll find out what makes us that way coming up in just a moment on WBCK. 8:21 WBCK. Larry Bowron's here from the WK Kellogg Airport. So we really are one of the busiest airports in the state.
That's correct. I know it's hard to believe, but when you look at Michigan airports with air traffic control towers, everybody knows the number one, Detroit Metro.
Yeah.
Most people would not guess number two. That's Oakland Pontiac.
That's interesting.
Yeah, Waterford. But that's that's an airport that's just corporate aviation. It's not air carrier airports.
The GM and Ford executives flying in and out of there.
Right. And a lot of business. Coletta, just a lot of really GA business. But 3, 4, and 5, those slots are typically occupied by the WK Kellogg Airport in Battle Creek, Traverse City, in Michigan, Traverse City up north, and Gerald R. Ford International. Those are the three, and depending on how much good weather we have and how much Western flies, and if Traverse City got a new flight or something, those three airports, we kind of bounce around between 3, 4, and 5 in terms of the top 5 busiest airports in the state.
Yeah, that's interesting. You would presume, or at least you might assume, that Kalamazoo Battle Creek International would be in there somewhere, but when you walk around there, it's mostly commercial flights. You don't see a lot of other activity going on.
That's right. Yeah, and the city of Battle Creek very wisely chose this direction, or this GA sector of aviation years ago. There was some headbutting between scheduled service at Kalamazoo and scheduled service at Battle Creek, and it was just too close. It didn't work, and so the two communities agreed on what they would be. And I sure am glad that Battle Creek made the decision they made, because it's a wonderful place to work, and it's a fabulous asset for this community.
So if we are so busy, what sort of flights are we talking about in and out on a daily basis?
Well, our tenant base is, again, general aviation, so you're not going to see United, Delta, anything like that.
Right.
Western Michigan University College Aviation, so their flight training program. Duncan Aviation, the largest privately owned aircraft manufacturing plant in North America. They refurbish jets. So just like somebody might buy a 67 Mustang and completely rebuild it from the ground up, they rebuild jets from the ground up. We have the FAA is based at our airport. It's a regional office, and they're called Flight Check, and they check all of the airborne navigational systems and all the highways in the sky, if you will, to make sure that they're accurate. We have 56 T-hangars, and so those T-hangars are almost full, so that would be just private individuals like yourself that own an airplane, whether it's for business or recreational purposes.
Nice.
The Kellogg Company has a hangar there, and that's where they operate out of as well. So it's a unique blend. Obviously we've had a long history with the Air National Guard. They're without a mission right now, but you throw them into the mix, and you have a very unique operating environment.
Yeah, that's for sure. So the last couple of mornings, I'm driving to work in the middle of the night, and I'm passing by, and I see these red lights sort of glowing, and the searchlight on the tower. And yesterday I looked over, and I thought, do I usually see that? Is that always at night that way, or is it different this week?
Well, it is different. A great question. We are in the process of rehabilitating the airport's 10,004-foot runway.
I see.
So you're talking about we're moving 4 inches from the top of the runway and putting 4 inches back. So we're doing it in 3 phases. Phase 1 is complete, and Phase 2 is almost done. Phase 3 will be a total closure of that runway, but we have 3 runways. So our customers, our tenant base, they're not without operational capabilities.
So they're doing some of that work at night.
Some of it is being done at night. Yeah, a lot of painting and things like that. So it's lit up a little bit more than it typically would be.
I thought it was. I caught that out of the corner of my eye. Well, maybe there's a flight tonight from somewhere.
It's actually very beautiful to look at.
It is. It is. I had to make sure I kept my eye on the road there.
My wife doesn't. Anytime we go by an airport, my wife tends to grab the wheel because she knows I'm going to be rubbernecking.
She knows what to do. That's good. Maybe you need one of those driver's training cars for her side. Anyway, yeah. So what's the largest aircraft we can accommodate here?
There is really no limit to the size of aircraft that we can handle.
Wow.
So we can take, a fully loaded 747. There are a few jumbo giants. There's a couple Russian cargo airplanes that if they were fully loaded, we wouldn't be able to accommodate them. But operationally, with that 10,004-foot runway, it's 150-foot wide. We can handle the biggest.
That is incredible. I mean, and, we wouldn't ordinarily do that, but, you think about a couple of the stories we've heard in the news recently about emergency touchdowns or something. If we had to have it, it could be done.
Certainly. And then, here's a great example. When the longshoreman strike was going on or was imminent and the ports on the West Coast were getting jammed up, we had aircraft coming in here with auto parts that normally would have came in trucks. In containers. Instead, they took them to a different port. We were able to get them unloaded, get them on airplanes, and bring them to our manufacturers out in Fort Custer via the city's airport.
Well, and here we are right there next to it practically, so why not?
That's right, yeah.
Any notion that could be a way to do it all the time?
Well, we think of that often.
Yeah, right.
But there are a lot of factors, the price of oil, how well, the ports are working. Are we a good stop for fuel? There's a lot of factors that go into it. It's something that the city looked at years ago. We certainly haven't taken it off of our radar, but
there's other factors.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
Yeah. Well, this has been very exciting. Congratulations on the fly-in. That is terrific news. And let's stay in touch as you have other events and things going on. We'll find out about them.
Sounds great, Richard.
All right. Thank you very much, Larry Bowron, WK Kellogg Airport, Battle Creek.